Today is the final episode for this chapter covering the basic fundamentals of websites, web development. We've been able to cover topics surrounding what is a website, what is web development, front end versus back end development, what is full stack development, static versus dynamic websites. And in today's episode, I will show you a simplified flow of how websites work, from a user typing a domain address to finally receiving the page or the web page that they've requested to see. And at the end of this episode, you will also see the tools that are required to begin your career as a web developer. So this is just a simple graphic that displays how the process works. This is just to make it easy for anyone with little or no idea in terms of technical abilities to simply understand the flow of how when a user enters a domain name on your browser and how the process works for them to then receive the requested page. The process works from when a user opens your browser and types in a URL. The browser then works like a waiter. It searches for the server where the website is being hosted. So your browser is like a waiter and the server is the kitchen. The website is your meal. Your browser takes in the request and sends that request to the server where the website lives. And in this case, this would be the IP address and a port on the server. The server then takes in that request and responds with the web page, which the user intends to see. So this is a simple flow of how websites load on your browsers and how web pages are being generated using your web browser. So the basic concept to understand from that diagram is that the domain is the human readable name of a website. So like Facebook or like Migo Express, these are human friendly readable names. But in fact, they are hosted on servers with IP addresses. Now you need a hosting service to be able to host your files on a web server remotely. And popular hosting services include Bluehost, GoDaddy, or Namecheap. So the IP address is the actual numerical address of a server used behind the scenes. And it usually looks like this. And you need a DNS, which is a domain name system, which works like a phone book. So when a user types domain name, the DNS converts that readable name into binary figures, integers, and that way it can then access this website on the server using the IP addresses. So the tools you need to successfully write a program for a web page or develop a web page, you need your computer device, your desktop or laptop. I have gone online and I have typed list of free coding editors that you could use, and there is a whole list of various coding editors, and all of them will handle simple basic HTML, CSS, JavaScript coding like Visual Studio Code, Sublime Text, Notepad++, are free and easy to download. So you're going to need a web browser for testing environment, and most web browsers come with inbuilt debugger tools. So this is web Firefox browser, and I have gone to the more tools tab, and you click on that, you're going to see web developer tools. And in here, you can debug areas within your web page that needs addressing. This is your console where you can output JavaScript code, and this is your inspector tools where you can then traverse through various containers within your HTML page. Now, all of these are essential to start your web development career. But just like how I mentioned earlier in previous episodes, you're going to want to start from the basics and build on top of that as you progress through your career. So for server side, you're going to need XAMPP, and this allows you to test server side scripting languages like PHP and handle MySQL database. So to round up this episode and to round up this chapter surrounding website development, how website loads, I really hope we've been able to understand the basic fundamentals when a user types in a domain name or a URL and how the browser communicates to server using your internet. Within the same chapter, I've also highlighted how domains work and how you need your hosting services to store your web pages and web content on your remote server.